Good afternoon and thanks for joining me on News Extra right here on ETV Ghana. The formal launch of the 2012 Manifesto of the new patriotic party is currently ongoing at the Accra International Conference Center, described by party leaders as the most audacious policy document ever crafted by a political entity in the country. The manifesto was adopted by delegates at a special conference last weekend. It promises to transform various sectors of the economy, embark on industrialization agenda, provide free secondary education and create more jobs. On the line to update us on the manifesto launch is my colleague Beatrice Baden. Hello Beatrice, good afternoon.
Yeah, hello Princess, good afternoon.
Can you kindly update us on the latest from the conference center?
Well, thank you very much. The flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Nana Akufo-Addo, has just delivered his speech, summarizing all the plans that the NPP plans to implement if voted into power come December 7th. Now, he said that he will lead a campaign to ensure that the society accords teachers the respect that they deserve. And he also emphasized that he will lead strong private sector to hold, he said actually that the private sector holds the key to Ghana's development agenda. So he emphasized that his administration will ensure that private sector development is actually upheld. He also said that he has the team in place to work efficiently if he is also voted into power. And he called on the media to work to promote Ghana's democracy. Now, the manifesto of the NPP has highlighted some key areas of the industry or of the economy, such as infrastructure development, governance, health, youth, education, trade industry in agriculture, and then foreign affairs. Now, under infrastructure, what the NPP has decided to do if voted into power is to actually develop the railway and the road network of Ghana. And one interesting thing that they highlighted had to do with the fact that the Accra-Tema motorway will be expanded to make way for more traffic when they are voted into power. And they also said that they will improve upon the housing facility currently or the housing deficit in the country and ensure that there's affordability in housing. They also touched on health care and emphasized on the fact that the current brain drain which is in the country will be reversed, and that when they are voted into power, they will expand infrastructure and start training of specialized health care personnel. And they also touched on maternal mortality and said that they'll improve the system or the healthcare system when they are also voted into power. Now, as part of the NPP's manifesto, what they said is that education or the education policy is key to both individual and national development, and that when they are voted into power, it will be one area of priority to their government.
Beatrice, I believe that they touched on many issues. Now, what are some of the primary concerns? I mean, what are some of the things that they highlighted and you think is their primary concern?
Well, one of the main issues they highlighted was modernization of agriculture. And what they said was that currently in the country, we are witnessing a system where we basically export all our raw materials without adding value to our agricultural products. So when they say that when they are voted into power, they will modernize agriculture by adding value to our raw materials before at least they are exported out of the country. They think that if this is done, then at least the country can get more money or more revenue for the nation. They also said that they will ensure a transparent, presidential, and efficient government. That is what they say. And they also believe in private sector, partnership between the private sector and the public sector, because they say that if they have this link with the private sector, then they can bring them on board and help develop the nation.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. I believe we'll get back to you on updates on the manifesto launch of the NPP. Now, moving on, residents of Accra are expected to be worse affected in a new load shedding plan announced by the Ghana Grid Company.
Generation plant means the country will lose 300 megawatts daily. This is the implementation of a new load shedding exercise. Engineers are on location working feverishly to resolve the problem and to bring the situation back to normal. For now, though, the Volta River Authority would continue to feed users of electricity with the hydropower they generate. This is not the first time the country will be experiencing load shedding exercise. After the major load shedding in 1998, the country has had to bear the brunt of similar exercises, although for short periods. It is not clear yet when this particular exercise will be aborted.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Energy on Tuesday announced that the current load shedding program in some parts of the country will continue due to the disruption of gas supply from Nigeria to the Volta River Authority.
A statement signed by the head of communications unit of the Ministry of Energy, Edward Bauer, said the West African gas pipeline has developed a technical problem which has affected the supply of gas to the Volta River Authority and the Sunan Asogli power plant. The statement said this has resulted in a reduction in power generation from VRA, whilst the Sunan Asogli power plant has been completely shut down. The Ghana Grid Company is warning of an impending disruption to power supply as a result of technical challenges at the West Africa Gas Pipeline Company. The technical challenges have affected the supply of gas to the VRA and caused a shutdown of the Sunan Asogli power plant. Gridco in a statement said it has requested the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company to implement a load shedding program in some parts of the country. The statement adds that engineers of the pipeline company are working to resolve the problem and that normal power supply will be restored as soon as the problem is resolved.
On education, it tops the list of issues Ghanaian voters want to have addressed by politicians. This was revealed in a report launched by the National Commission for Civic Education in Accra on Tuesday. It was themed Election 2012 Matters of Concern to the Ghanaian Voter. Johannes Makrud reports.
Civic education sampled views from the 230 constituencies in the country on issues voters want addressed by politicians. The issues ranged from education, health, employment, women and children, and development of the youth amongst many others. The report revealed that many people expressed the opinion that education is the only tool that can lift developing nations like Ghana out of poverty and therefore has to be given special attention by the party that will be voted into power.
For many developing countries where poverty levels are very high, education is the magic wand that can take people out of poverty. And that is why our people attach so much importance to it.
We must have a national education policy. We should not turn our education into a sort of political football, which is kicked in or kicked out depending upon who is in power or who is out of power.
The survey also revealed that more women than men are willing to vote for a female president. However, this desire may not come to pass as the two leading political parties in the country, the NDC and the NPP, have so far not shown any signs of electing a female flag bearer. This position has received strong condemnation by a research fellow of the Institute of Democratic Governance.
If our two major parties adopted a voluntary affirmative action to field more female parliamentary candidates, I tell you, we can get as much as 33% and we'll be breaking records on the African continent.
He recommended that the report be used as a tool to encourage accountability amongst politicians. Johannes Makrud, ETV News, Accra.
We go for a short breather. You're watching News Extra.